called clackers.
Clackers?
They were two heavy balls attached to a string that you bang together to
How is that fun? What's fun? I don't understand.
it's like a real pet.
Oh, stop. Stop. Pet rock. How can you convince someone that a rock could be a pet? Alright guys, welcome back to another video of your fellow Gen Z Brit born in the 2000s, a very curious mind. Guys, today I'm going to be checking out another Recollection Road video. This is if you grew up in the 1970s, you will remember this, part one. I have not seen this video before, but you guys know me on this channel. I've done quite a bit of deep diving into what life was like back in the past to see what you guys are getting up to. And I'm continually being amazed and surprised and shocked to not only see what you guys are doing, but to see the stories you guys are commenting down below and letting me know what's true and what you guys are really getting up to. To this day, it's still shocking me. Of course, I'm in a new setting, guys. For those of you guys wondering, you'll know that I'm not in my usual setup. I'm in my kitchen right now, and I can confirm that until I finish these videos, nobody is going to be eating in this house. So, like I did with the last video, make sure you comment and a like so that I know you guys want my family to eat, and hopefully these videos go further. So that I can get done with these and my family can eat, right? And of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications if you guys are new, so you guys can get some more quality content like this coming your way. And of course, look, I've got things to like my PayPal in the description. You can donate to the channel as well as my Patreon, get exclusive bonus content and early release access to a lot of these videos. I'm doing some 1980s sitcoms right now. I've got Married to Children going up, and I'm trying to get into some new things as well. So if you guys got any suggestions, let me know you want me to check out. But right now it's going lit. It's getting live on the Patreon right now. So make sure you get on in there if you guys are interested in some of this stuff. I'm going to put some other stuff on the screen as to what I've also done if you guys are interested. But yeah, guys, let me know as well if you like this new little change of scenery. Maybe you guys might prefer me in the kitchen. It's a little bit different. I'm standing up for these videos, but nonetheless, guys, look, I'm excited to get into this one, guys. So let's get straight into the video. Let's go. If you grew up in the 1970s, you remember this.
For those of you who grew up in the 70s, it was the sweetest time to be alive. This was an era in which many of us spent time in a wood-paneled, shag-carpeted rec room where we listened to 8-track tapes. It was also the decade of polyester and bell-bottom jeans, of Watergate.
I can say I've seen 1970s fashion fads. That's what I read of history. And the bell-bottom jeans with that jacket, kind of like the who's the guy, John Travolta type fit in the Night Fever, the disco thing you guys are telling me about. Look, I could see myself definitely rocking some bell-bottom jeans if I was born in the 1970s. But I love that. And the high-heeled thing as well, kind of like Prince. But I'll probably do more like a high platform thing rather than a high heel thing. But so far, look at the fits, man. I actually really like the 1970s.
It was also the decade of polyester and bell-bottom jeans, of Watergate, and the end of the Vietnam War, and the beginning of summer blockbuster movies. Let's take a step back and look into some of those quintessential moments of growing up in the 1970s.
That's not Star Wars. What is that? What's that? I forgot what that's
Shag carpeting really did look hideous, but it was also surprisingly comfortable on bare feet. After all, you could lay on the carpet and make angel patterns on the living room floor. Beyond the soft touch, it also came in a variety of earthy shades, from rust orange and moss green to sunshine yellow and sky blue. On top of those shag carpet...
And you're not going to see colors like that nowadays as well, because I feel like the more modern day kind of design of things, especially architectural things, tends to be a more simplistic, minimalistic type of new era going on here. So there's a lot of difference how things are now.
Shine yellow and sky blue. On top of those shag carpets were most likely couches or decorative pillows upholstered in big floral prints. Let's also not forget about the macrame owl you had hanging around the house too.
Guys, I don't know if he's going to touch on this video again. I haven't seen this video before, but I've heard a lot of stories about that shag carpet, about things getting lost in the shag carpet, about you guys like stepping on things. I mean, he's talking about his comfortable barefoot. But would you guys really go on a shag carpet barefoot, not knowing what you're going to find inside of there? You might step on something you might not be able to get out your foot for a while. And what is the mother going to say? Don't bleed on the shag carpet. So you're going to have to bleed over the sink. At least that's what I've heard. So, things are different back in the day. So, you better not get that blood on the shag carpet. Maybe you got to think twice before you go barefoot. But I don't know if you might touch on it, but that's what I've heard.
Let's also not forget about the macrame owl you had hanging around the house too.
I've heard about that. I can't lie, that macrame owl probably creeps me out a bit. If I saw that, I might think it's just some witchcraft voodoo thing going on, but like owls just creep me out. I don't know why. Maybe I've seen too many scary movies or something, but some reason I don't like that. I don't like that.
This decade will always be remembered for the very first home video game, Pong. That's because this two-dimensional game, which was released by Atari in 1972 as a stand-up arcade, was a game changer. It was meant to be a computerized version of table tennis, which involved a white dot slowly bouncing back and forth between two white lines, known as paddles.
Wow.
If you loved playing Pong, then you most certainly remember destroying enemy ships in the arcade game Space Invaders, which was released later in the decade.
That's really cool, by the way. I remember like that Pong game, and that he said home games. So would you have had these in your home, like these kind of big, freaking machines that you could play games on? But even so, wherever you guys had these, like I'm sure this brings back memories, man. And I definitely would have found myself on this a lot if I was born during this time. I have played that Pong game, a more modernized version of it, I think, on like my app store. But yeah, that looks cool. It's probably why at least arcades might hit a little bit different for people that are were born in this era. Because arcades, it's like the games are a lot less quality. It's like I'm only going there if it's just for fun, and I'm going outside to go on like a date or something. But interesting stuff, man.
Back and forth between two white lines, known as paddles. If you loved playing Pong, then you most certainly remember destroying enemy ships in the arcade game Space Invaders, which was released later in the decade.
I don't know if I played that before, but I definitely would have been on that if I was grew up during this time.
One of the most popular toys of the time was something called clackers.
Clackers?
They were two heavy balls attached to a string that you banged together to make noise.
What?
They actually turned out to be quite dangerous and were eventually banned.
Yeah, because I'm sure there was one kid in the class that probably just started whacking people with it. I don't know why they were banned, but how is that fun? I don't understand how you guys would find that fun. Then again, you didn't really have technology like I do now, so it's like there's not as many options. You guys like playing with physical things and actually going outside, where nowadays we like playing with digital things and staying inside. Do you know what I'm saying? You guys like to socialize, and we like to be introvertedly socializing from the very comfort of our bed, chatting to people online. But at least from a Gen Z perspective, please someone explain to me how this was cracking two balls together was fun. Please someone explain that to me. I do not see how that's fun right now. But you guys seem to enjoy that.
There's also no doubt you begged your parents for $4 so that you could buy a pet rock.
A pet rock?
You got to feed your pet rock, dress it up with googly eyes, and take it for a walk, just like a real pet.
Oh, stop. Pet rock. Come on, guys. Please. Understand how this is looking to a Gen Zer right now, yeah? A pet rock. Even the name pet rock sounds crazy. How can you convince someone that a rock could be a pet? Do you know what, actually, I can actually see, like I said, I need to actually look at things from like a Gen Xer point of view, and you guys actually went outside. So maybe you would actually have saw that rock and gone, and it looks cool, and it's like mysterious, and it reminds you of nature or something, and it's like you've got kind of that influence in your head, so that's more interesting for you in that time period, like going outside and climbing up trees. Like maybe you actually, I can actually see you guys enjoying a pet rock. I can see it, but it's not even like cuddly and soft. And then true say, if you get mad one day, you're dashing it through a window. No, like I don't know, like pet rock is different, man. And it's dressed in hay and marketed in a box. Like, it's a rock.
Do you remember the cool metal lunchboxes?
Can we just think about that for a second? Someone made money off a pet rock. There's a businessman that said, let me get rocks. I don't know if he probably went through did he even go through the hassle of making them look nice? Or was it just people would find rocks, sell it to people, and now people will buy that? Like, if you couldn't just get one off the street or something? Like, please, someone explain it. Please. I can't believe that's a thing. I can't believe that.
You used to carry to school? The sturdy tins protected your bologna sandwiches.
Let me make sure I get this part right.
Do you remember the cool metal lunchboxes you used to carry to school? The sturdy tins protected your bologna sandwiches and were often decorated with cartoons, superheroes, or your favorite movie characters. And of course, don't forget the matching thermos that came with it.
Thermos? Matching thermos. Matching thermos. Thermostat? Thermometer? Wait, thermos. What's a thermos? So you guys not only had tin lunch boxes, yeah, that could probably knock someone out if they were playing too much. But what is a... Oh, like a flask. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I know what that is. Yeah. I was thinking, what's a thermos? I think that's an American way of calling it a flask and stuff to kind of insulate the heat. Okay, I get that now. But even then, yeah, that's different, man. That's different. Obviously, I didn't have a lunch box that was metal or like tin. That's different.
Bros, or your favorite movie characters. And of course, don't forget the matching thermos that came with it.
That's cool though. That is cool. But yeah, I didn't have one of those. And some of you guys, I've seen videos, like rare pictures saying that there'll be like mold collecting in that thing or something, and you guys will still eat out of it. I don't know. You guys let me know if that's true. But yeah, that tin box, lunch box, you guys let me know some of the stories you had with that, man, because that is interesting. Never experienced that.
In the 70s, every kid seemingly wanted to look like Adam Rich from the TV show 8 is Enough.
Adam Rich.
So they made their parents give them a bowl haircut.
You're joking.
If you're unfamiliar with a bowl cut, it's exactly what it sounds like. Mom would put a bowl over your head and use scissors to cut around the edges.
Yay.
The resulting distinctly 70s haircut made it seem like you were wearing a salad bowl as a hat.
I can imagine.
But if it was good enough for baseball player Pete Rose and Olympic figure skater Dorothy Hamill,
wow,
it was good enough for anyone.
You know, and that just shows you how much, like, you know, the media can influence people's, like, the fashion trends, what's in, what's out. Because I can confirm, if any person is Gen Z or Gen Alpha and you have a ball cut in this day and age, you're getting, it's licensed to get bullied. It's licensed to get picked on. I'm sorry you're asking for it, because that is not going to fly in high school to now. It's not going to fly in college, and it's not going to fly in it's not going to fly, maybe it might fly in preschool, but it's not going to fly anywhere outside of that up until college, because nobody is rocking that about getting flamed. I'm telling you that now. I can't believe that. Time to change.
Who could forget the educational animated shorts that popped up during your usual Saturday morning cartoon lineup? Without you realizing, Schoolhouse Rock taught you timeless lessons about grammar, math, politics, and science.
Okay, Schoolhouse Rock.
The cartoons were funny, and the songs were catchy. I'm sure you can still sing the whole Conjunction Junction, What's Your Function song without missing a beat.
Yeah, you guys let me know if you can, because I don't know anything he's talking about here. But this is looking to be something that is more familiar, that I'm more familiar with nowadays, with like cartoons and TV programs that they'll be teaching you stuff. Teletubbies, Numberjacks, some of the things that come to my mind. But yeah, this one looks interesting, man. Looks interesting. Schoolhouse Rock, yeah?
The biggest 70s fashion accessory was the mood ring.
Not the mood ring.
Which was a ring that could recognize your emotional state.
I can't, still
Blue meant you were calm or relaxed. Amber meant you were nervous or anxious. And black, well, that meant you were about to lose your temper.
I can't believe that.
To calm yourself down, you may have relaxed on your bed and read the latest issue of Tiger Beat magazine. The original teen pop culture magazine was also full of posters.
Guys, look, this mood ring, like, I need to figure out if mood rings really worked, alright? Because I'm doing a quick Google search here and it says no direct link between a particular mood and a specific color has ever been confirmed. So that's what the quick Google searches gave me, yeah? You guys, I thought it's a running joke. So you're telling me a ring, because I've seen this, they've seen it before, and I still don't believe that actually worked, nor it was a thing, and people believed it. Surely it just changes colors randomly, and people just started like trying to manifest emotions to reflect what the ring was saying. Because, guys, mood rings. I can see it being interesting considering the other stuff that I've seen from this time period. But surely you guys were not falling for that. Like, or it's just, if it actually worked, which I don't think that could, it just is crazy to me that was a thing. And if so, what happens? Why not anymore? There's no way that worked. There's no way that worked.
The original teen pop culture magazine was also full of posters that kids plastered their bedroom walls with.
Posters, okay.
At school, especially during gym class, you wouldn't be caught dead without a classy pair of tube socks.
Yeah, come on, man.
At the time, it was quite the fashion statement.
Never today.
If those socks reached all the way up to your knees, even better.
Really?
Rarely in the history of fashion has a clothing style been universally accepted by both men and women.
Yeah.
But that was the case,
I can't believe that.
especially with the shortest of shorts and colorful striped tube socks.
Yeah, again, like nowhere in this day and age today are you gonna ever see a kid rocking these kinds of fits, unless their parents force them to. But it's just different, man. Like, to think that this was something that was going on back in the day. You guys let me know. Was it a thing of the higher the tube sock, the more cooler you are? Let me know, man, because that's interesting to me.
With the shortest of shorts and colorful striped tube socks.
Let me know the tube socks hierarchy. I need to know the hierarchy of tube socks.
All it took was one seriously terrifying movie, Steven Spielberg's Jaws, to keep an entire generation of children out of the ocean. Jaws made its big screen debut in the summer of 1975, terrifying a nation with a 25-foot mechanical shark, and crystallizing the concept of a summer blockbuster. It made children and adults alike scan the water for signs of a shark fin anytime they were near the ocean.
Yeah, that's mad. Ain't that a thing as well? Like, I feel like I remember seeing like some news article talking about how like they had to release how sharks don't actually like, you know, end people's lives. That is very extremely rare, and if anything, it's like they only really go for you if they smell or see blood. I don't know, but like apparently this whole shark actually biting you stuff, like from Jaws, I'm guessing, was a myth. Like they don't actually be doing that. I don't know if that's really true. I could search it, but I can't really do that right now. But it's to say, yeah, that Jaws movie, and especially since some of you guys are saying that, you know, you'd be watching this at very young ages because all this PG and, you know, rated stuff wasn't as much of a thing back then. So you could be watching some really mad stuff at a young age. But yeah, I can see that happening, man. That's a scary movie.
A shark fin anytime they were near the ocean.
Especially when you watch that when you're young.
My first encounter with consciousness from another world was when I met someone in 2010.
Bro, this guy's the type of brother to rock a mood ring.
When Star Wars first hit movie theaters in 1977, it was unlike anything the world had ever seen.
Wow.
It was immersive, and the special effects were groundbreaking. If you ask anyone who saw the original Star Wars in theaters about their experience, they'll probably be able to tell you every little detail, right down to how long they waited in line.
Really?
For many kids, Star Wars defined their childhood.
Wow.
Kids were absolutely obsessed with the movie franchise, and they wanted every Star Wars toy that was released.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Do you remember?
I feel like there's a lot of die-hard stands for when it comes to Star Wars. Me personally, Star Wars never really my thing. But I would love to hear some of you guys' stories on that. But yeah, like I knew a lot of people liked it. Even some of my friends really liked it especially when I was young. But yeah, it was never a thing for me personally.
Released.
But I didn't realize it was like a 1970s thing.
Do you remember learning how to do the hustle for the very first time?
The hustle.
The song came out in 1975.
Why did for a second I thought they were all doing some Nazi salute for a second? I'm just saying that. What was that? That looked so sus for a second. But looking closely, that is not what it is. Okay.
Do the hustle for the very first time? The song came out in 1975, and everyone immediately wanted to learn the dance. The YMCA and the chicken dance also originated during this time,
I know about YMCA.
and they too led to crazes that saw everyone performing the dances together.
Yeah, the hustle. Wait, so the hustle is the YMCA and the chicken dance, or is the hustle just another dance? Because I thought he was gonna show maybe a clip.
Dances together.
That's interesting though.
In the 1970s, music was everything. You wouldn't just fan over your favorite bands, you'd play their records on repeat and tape their faces all over your bedroom walls.
Yeah, that's different.
You may have also grown to love 8-track tapes. These devices gained steadily in popularity because you could take them with you.
Wow, okay.
And many car makers even included an 8-track tape player in new models of their cars. This meant you could listen to whatever you wanted while you cruised the streets of your hometown. They weren't the most user-friendly audio formats, but boy, you sure did love them.
Yeah, 8-track tapes. Never experienced that. Well, was that another way of saying cassette tapes, right? That you guys used to have? Yeah, I've never actually really experienced. I remember seeing my dad had one when he was really young. I was like, what is that, mate? Like, get that out of my way. I'm trying to get to at least an iPhone 6 at the time, which I would have had. So it's like, yeah, that one doesn't do it for me. But of course, I wasn't born during this time. But you guys in the 1970s, you guys let me know what that was about, because that's different, man. That's different.
Audio formats, but boy, you sure did love them.
Look at the fit is all going on, my guy.
Every decade has its top music genre, and in the 70s, disco reigned supreme.
I would be in the disco.
If you were brave enough to go to an actual disco, you could get down to the sounds of Casey and the Sunshine Band, the Bee Gees, and the Tramps.
Yeah.
Even the Rolling Stones released a disco track to get in on the trend. If that wasn't enough disco for you, you could even strap on some skates and head over to the roller disco. These fast-paced parties would be complete with shiny outfits, bright lights, and of course, groovy tunes.
Yeah, get me in this time period to experience this disco vibe, this scene. I would be 100% in that area, in this whole area, this whole vibe, if I was alive during the 1970s, because that is up my alley right there, man. Gen Z approved.
TVs in the 1970s weren't nearly the high-definition entertainment centers they are today. You were lucky if you had decent reception, meaning no fuzzy screens or zigzag lines.
Crazy.
Otherwise, you'd have to fidget with the rabbit ear antennas until you got a clear picture.
Wow.
And forget about late-night talk shows and around-the-clock programming. If you turned on the TV after midnight, all you'd see is a test card of color bars.
Good night. Yeah, you see, they kind of had something like that similar when I was young, like especially on kids channels. Like I think after 8 you couldn't watch them anymore, but to see the whole signal stuff and you have to change like the aerial, I think this is like what you guys said, the analog generation, how things are a bit more digital now. Is to say, yeah, I can't relate. I don't have an experience of this really growing up, but it's to say, to imagine it sounds like torture. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of television, for teens, Happy Days was the coolest of shows.
Happy Days.
But adults also had to get a weekly dose of the TV show MASH. There were other popular shows, of course, like The $6 Million Man and Charlie's Angels, which contributed to 1970s pop culture in their own way. You may also remember staying up to watch some of the very first episodes of Saturday Night Live. This was back when cast members like Chevy Chase, John Belushi, and Gilda Radner were at their best, making the entire country laugh together.
That's crazy. That's a throwback.
A 1970s party would never be complete without a cheese log or a cheese ball.
What?
These must-have snacks involved shredded cheddar, cream cheese, butter, and chopped nuts for rolling.
I would not have it.
Another 70s food gem was launched by Betty Crocker in 1971 called Hamburger Helper. This easy-to-make hearty dinner fed millions of us with just a box of pasta, powdered sauce, and a pound of ground beef.
That looks alright though. That one looks alright. Okay.
Even if you didn't care much for politics in the 1970s, everyone was talking about Watergate. Each night, the evening news reported new details of the scandal, and seeing Richard Nixon leave the White House forever as he boarded a helicopter was one of the most surreal moments of the 1970s, regardless of what side you were on.
That's interesting. I've heard a little bit about, the whole Nixon resignation. Let me just quickly do what Watergate was, because I've heard that name fly around. Major political controversy in the United States during the President Richard Nixon from 1970 to 1974 ultimately resulted in Nixon's resignation. The name originated from attempt by Nixon administration to conceal its involvement in the June 1972 break in the Democratic National Committee headquarters located in Watergate office building. Okay, so someone broke into the Democratic headquarters, which is a controversy that led to Nixon having to resign. And that's just a brief overview of what it looked like it was, but that sounds interesting to say the least. But yeah, okay, that's interesting, man.
1970s, regardless of what side you were
on a helicopter.
And seeing Richard Nixon leave the White House forever as he boarded a helicopter was one of the most surreal moments of the 1970s,
why does he look so happy,
regardless of what side you were on.
Why does he look so happy? Surely that should be an upsetting moment, no?
The 70s are filled with many fond memories, all of which take us back in time to a place that is familiar, but fading. The fads and crazes are fun to reflect upon, so let me know in the comments your own memories of growing up in the 1970s. And as always, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Recollection Road, for another great flashback to the past. You know what? I kind of empathize for you guys, because I can imagine when I get older now, and I'm seeing the younger generation saying stuff like, what is that? And how do you guys not know what a PlayStation 2 was, or PlayStation 3 was, or you guys on PlayStation 6, or how do you guys not know? You guys will never know what it's like to have a phone that you held in your hand. Now everything is all, printed in the atmosphere, and you can just type things in the air. Like, yeah, I kind of empathize with you guys, because like as he said, this time period is definitely fading. I mean, before the internet really came in, now everything is infused with the internet, and I can imagine, man, a lot of you guys wouldn't have really realized at the time just how sweet those moments would have been for you guys to really get in those core memories at a key time, because lo and behold, the world was about to change forever, especially in the 1980s and stuff like that, with internet really coming into play. Well, I don't know if internet came into play, but at least with technology starting to rise up, especially with phones, colored screens and the digital stuff. But yeah, to say the least, guys, if you made this point, you are a real one. Comment a green heart or hashtag flexer if you made this point, because I know some of you guys are still struggling to find those emojis on your keyboards. And of course, guys, look, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Do you guys think it was true? Are there any things that he might have missed out? And what do you guys think about some of the things I had to say? Because I was quite, shocked and surprised at a lot of these things. Pet rock, yeah, you guys let me know what that was all about. But guys, so look, that being said, I'm your boy, JayFlex. This has been Recollection Road, talking about stuff in the 1970s. And for those guys at this point, you guys have been absolutely wonderful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.